The Evil Within in 5 minutes. Everything you need to know about the story so far. Sebastian Castellanos is a grizzled detective with a painful history. Years before we first met him, his 5-year-old daughter Lily died in a house fire, and soon after, his wife Myra vanished, leaving a broken Sebastian to find solace at the bottom of a whiskey bottle. Flash forward to the opening of The Evil Within. Sebastian, his partner Joseph, and junior detective Julie Kidman are investigating a mass murder at Beacon Mental Hospital. Soon after their arrival, the trio are pulled into a nightmarish alternate reality created by a man called Ruvik. He powers this world using a machine of his own invention called STEM that creates a shared consciousness by hooking up multiple individuals to one governing mind called the Core. Think of a STEM world as a bit like a twisted version of the Matrix. As the core of this reality, Ruvik torments Sebastian and his team with creatures pulled from their personal fears, as well as his own inner demons. Ruvik's totalitarian control over STEM means he can directly influence the brains of those who are hooked up to it.
It's just a matter of time.
While their bodies remain in the real world, he's able to manipulate the environment Sebastian and his companions are battling through, turning them into dark, twisted versions of themselves that manifest in STEM as something like this. To put it simply, he can make them lose their minds.
Jesus, what happened?
Ruvik's motivations are discovered through a series of flashbacks. His troubled childhood's only salve came in the form of his loving sister Laura, who tragically died saving Ruvik from a fire that left him physically and psychologically disfigured. Years later, Ruvik invents the STEM technology because he wants to escape into a reality where his sister is still alive. The power of his invention garners the attention of a shady corporation known as Mobius, who kill Ruvik and take control of STEM. However, since the machine is calibrated to work only with Ruvik as its core, Mobius is forced to extract Ruvik's brain and install it inside STEM as a sort of battery. A bitter, betrayed, and now murderous battery that's determined to seek revenge on anyone who enters its world. Sebastian finds himself caught in the crossfire. His best way out of Ruvik's hellscape lies within the fragile mind of a young man called Leslie, a patient at Beacon Mental Hospital and the only person who's ever returned to reality after being hooked up to STEM. This ability to survive in Ruvik's machine makes Leslie valuable to Mobius, who believes that Leslie's docile mind could replace Ruvik's hostile brain as the new core for the STEM machine. However, Leslie's compatibility also makes him valuable to Ruvik, who wants to possess his mind and return to the real world. In a bid to outmaneuver their opponent, Mobius sends agent Julie Kidman, posing as a junior detective on Sebastian's team, to retrieve Leslie.
It's enough for Kidman to go under and open it from the other side.
Kidman is complicated. She left home at 14 after a childhood of neglect and eventually was recruited by Mobius. Here, she was subjected to indoctrination therapy, trained and given a roof over her head. The Evil Within's DLC, The Consequence, reveals just how much Kidman feels she owes to Mobius, thanks to her upbringing. Later, Mobius prepares Kidman for her mission into STEM by injecting her with a serum that protects her against Ruvik's mind control and, conversely, allows them to shape her choices and behaviour. But Kidman is stronger than they had anticipated. After realising what Ruvik intends, Kidman rebels against her superiors and attempts to kill Leslie in an effort to stop Ruvik from reaching the real world. Sebastian, whose new distrust for his trainee blinds him to what's at stake, stops her. This finally opens the door for Ruvik, who absorbs Leslie's consciousness into his own.
Leslie!
After a fierce battle, Sebastian destroys Ruvik's brain that sits at the centre of the STEM machine, seemingly ending the conflict. He awakens in a bathtub inside the real Beacon Mental Hospital as Mobius clears out all evidence of their involvement, led by Kidman, who protects him from the company's interest. As Sebastian leaves, he sees Leslie through the hospital gates. He suddenly experiences the same headache he experienced in STEM whenever Ruvik was near. It seems Ruvik has returned to the real world through Leslie after all. That's the story of The Evil Within so far, but for more on the sequel, check out our Everything You Need to Know About The Evil Within 2 or our interview at E3 with Bethesda's Pete Hines.